Alright peeps, how we doing? I just thought I'd jump on to a wee video, man. I'm not going back for my class. Was a good wee shift. Me and my kid, we went down. It was a good wee shift, as I said, but heavy soaked by the time we get back home. And no long had my dinner and made Christopher's dinner, and it's weird because all day I've been feeling kinda like appreciative the life that I have now in comparison to the way my life used to be. And I think it's because of some some other things that I've been noticing in my life, obviously, like shit to do with my brother and my kid's mum. My brother who's alive, he was actually he was arrested on Friday. He's on a tag, right, and he cut it off. Now, the boy's a serious drug addict, you know what I mean? Um, Heavy white habit, man, and cut his tag off. But no, my uncle said to me, he walked to court, right, and he thought he was due up at court. And aye, you were due up at court, mate. It was a year ago the day you were due up, and they let him walk out of the court, and then he got lifted the next day for cutting his tag off. Maybe the jail will help him, know what I mean? Just cause I live in the same building as him, know what I mean? I don't see him a lot, but when you do see him, like the kind of lulls in between seeing him, you just notice the deterioration. Um, Same with my kid's man, know what I mean? You're just like, what, man? And it made me think, like, how lucky I'm to, like, I don't mean to have this new life, like I'm fucking rolling in dough and staying in Monaco, know what I mean? Fucking, just compared to where I used to be in life. And I don't just mean where I used to live, I mean my mentality, my kind of, my take on morality. My morality was just skewed to fuck. Still is a bit, I mean, but nothing anywhere near like it used to be. You know what I mean? Like I would do somebody a solid before I would hurt them now, know what I mean? Still think there's people who have deserve some kind of biblical treatment, but they're the kind of, you know what kind of people I'm talking about. Not talking about somebody that's just walking about just fucked up because their life was hard growing up or whatever, know what I mean? But it just made me think about how lucky I'm to be sitting in this chair talking to yous, having my own house and raising my son, taking my son to karate and jiu-jitsu and um, being a civilian, just being the grey man in the street, you know what I'm talking about? And it made me think of how other people aren't so fortunate that they can't beat their demons. And obviously today is it's my younger brother Tony's. It would have been his 38th birthday today, right? And this is the reason for me doing this video, because I feel sometimes like he's no remembered enough, because the boy did have a tough upbringing, right? So the brother that I'm talking about, who lives down the stair for me, who I had this big fight with last year, and for any of you that haven't seen it, if you scroll right down my videos, right, there's a picture of me, blood plastered all on my face, and that was after fighting with my brother, and none of that blood is mine's. It's all it says, right? But that wasn't a nice night. But Paul, my brother Paul, right, who I was fighting with last year and who cut his tag off, me and him are my dad's kids, right? Whereas my brother Tony, Anthony, his name is, right? He's my biological mother's son, right? And my biological mother had four sons, right? And Tony was the only one that she didn't raise him, she dragged him up, right? And I didn't meet Tony until I was like 10 years old, right? Excuse me for yawning. So I'd first met him, he was only like 7 years old, and I had went to live with my biological mum. It was a brief period, it was only like a year and 2 months, 3 months, a year and 3 months, something like that. But this was the worst time of my life, man, no gonna lie. And I always remember me and him living in fear when we lived there, right? Now you're talking about an 11-year-old and a 7/8-year-old boy, right? And anybody who has children living in fear, to me, is a just a beast. You're a scumbag, mate. Absolute scumbag. But it just made me think of how, like, the shit he must have went through before I turned up, when I turned up, and after I left. Because obviously, as I explained, I was raised with between my dad and my grandparents, my dad's parents, and grew up in Cambuslang. But when I was like 10 years old, my mum just appeared out of nowhere. I don't even call her mum. I call her by her first name. Her first name is Rose. I don't even class her as my mum. Basically, she just shit me out. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing that basically she done that I don't class as a good. You know what I mean? Obviously, she was a young lassie at the time, but when you say some people only cut out for motherhood, she's the definition of that. Just no nurturing whatsoever, no love after, no nothing. Just a very, very, very warped and skewed world view, which me and Tony used to laugh about, right? Because Tony was a very, right, if some people, one thing I've always heard about myself is you're dead smart, you're dead intelligent, you're dead clever. I don't really think I'm that clever. I'm book smart, street smart, aye, but I'm no fucking, like, there's smarter people than me out there. And Tony was a very, very smart guy. Smart wee boy, I know. And that was one of the things that I loved about him. Because that's always some things I can bond with people through. Especially if it's like, you can bounce off each other, because when I don't really, I find myself struggling to open up to a lot of people, because it's like they're just going to turn out to be like everybody else you meet in your life, whether it's a woman, whether it's fucking a potential friend, whatever. And I'm just like, why bother, man? You know, they're just going to turn out like everybody else, and for the most part they do turn out to be like everybody else. But sometimes it doesn't stop me trying, you know what I mean? But oh, excuse me. When I stayed with my biological mum, it was like from October 1993 to December 1994, right? So I was in like primary 7, right? And getting into high school. So I went to this school, Blackies and the Gorbals, right? And my wee brother went to St Anthony's. No, St Anthony's, St Francis, sorry. And I remember, like, we used to like fucking see, like, go mad detours on the way back from school, just trying to stay out as much as possible. So, excuse me. So we didn't need to go in the house, because we hated it. We were locked in a room all day and they were selling fucking brown smack for the house, know what I mean? And just no a fucking environment for a child, do you know what I mean? Any child, you know what I mean? Always getting mad beatings and fuck knows what. And I remember a few times my ma hitting like berkeys, like mad eyes popping out her head, veins in her neck sticking out. And it reminded me of Cafe Bates. Remember that film Misery? That's who it reminded me of. just a fucking, imagine staying there your whole life. Like, he lived with this his whole life, man. And we were absolutely terrified of her. And see, the weird thing is, like, I remember one time, my cousin worked in a, this was years ago, like back in the day, man, like 2002 or something, and I was running about like a fucking cowboy, you know what I mean? My wee cousin, from my dad's side, she worked in a, it was like a social work office up the town, and Tony was in there one day, I think he was reporting homeless or something like that, and my cousin saw his surname. She was like, are you related to so and so? And he's like, yeah, aye. And she's like, yeah, oh, do you know Chris? Aye, it's my brother, blah, blah, blah. She brought him up here, and we sat and fucking got something to eat and fucking a bit of weed, whatever it was. And I remember seeing him and I just felt so sorry for him, because you could just tell that he was just fucking drifting, and that's not a good feeling. I remember feeling like that ages ago. Just when I came out, I think it was when I came out of jail the second time. I was just like, what am I doing? Where am I going? What am I meant to be doing? Fuck, it's fucked up. No nice feeling. But the weird thing is seeing 2015. This is weird, right? In 2015, I was in Low Moss prison, right? And this screw who knew me for another jail, Glen Oakle prison, he shouted on me, and he's like, you got a brother? It's like, I've got a couple of brothers, mate. So he's obviously, he's not saying, oh, your bra Tony's in, your bra Hingby's in. He's trying to see, because we had different second names, and he was trying to see, obviously, what I think anyway, because the guy's no daft by any stretch. And he was like, you got a bra? It's like, aye, excuse me. It's like, got a few brothers. It's like, you got a bra, Tony. I done that, aye, and he done, what's his second name? And I was like, Tony Broadley, his name is, Anthony Broadley, and he done that, aye, he's running D section. It's like, oh, is he, aye? So, in jail, like, if you've got a relative, well, a relative like a brother, a fucking, your dad, whatever, your son, usually you can get, like, to see each other, you get to go on the same visits and all that shit. But obviously we didn't have the same visitors, you know what I mean? So that was that, but they'd let us in, sit in a room together for an hour and all that, and we'd fucking pass each other shit and all that. And this is the funny thing, right? I showed them how to make, see, prison hooch, the way I get showed to make it. Was an old guy, old lifer. He was fae up here, but he'd done all his time down, see the Cat A's down England. He'd been in Franklin, Parkhurst, fucking Whitemoor, all these mad crazy ass jails, right? And this old guy was hardcore, mate. Know what I mean? He wouldn't even talk to the screws. He wouldn't even take the, know how like we've all got TVs in ourselves now. He wouldn't even take it. He would just sit and paint, and he would shout me in his Peter on a Saturday night and just sit and booze with him. And I remember showing my bra how to make this, and I used to take him round, see, bags of yeast, but you can't get yeast anymore. But I used to get big fucking lumps of yeast, man, and take it round in a bag, right, and just tell him, just fucking, know what I mean, just wash your yeast, mate, and fucking stick the OJ in it and the sugar, boom, away you go in it. And I remember a couple of times, 'cause I used to see him up in the education department all the time, and he would be, see, this is the thing, right, I don't know if any of you haven't been in the jail, right, see when somebody's been drinking jail hooch, it just smells like somebody's stinking of booze, do you know what I mean, you can smell it. Aye, good boy, man. And I was really, really saddened to hear that he'd passed away, man, because it was only the year before I got out. And here, and see, the mad thing is, right, I remember talking to him in Low Moss about our so-called ma. And I remember saying to him, we were talking about it, and he said to me, you don't get respect by default. I always remember he said that to me, and what he was saying was, just because she's your ma doesn't mean to say I've got any respect for her. So I was like that, mate, she's got to drag you into a hole. And see, this was the mad thing. Tony was heavy fucking smart. I used to call him Heisenberg. If any of you have ever seen Breaking Bad, right, that's what that's Walter White, the mad fucking cook. That was his pseudonym, Heisenberg, right? And the reason that I used to call Tony Heisenberg was because he knew how to do all that shit. He knew all the, like, see, the chemistry. I'm not a science guy like that, right? And he actually went to university to study pharmacology, right? And he had a job in a chemist. And this was the funny thing, right? You're going to laugh at this, right? But some people might think it's shite, some people might think it's a laugh, but you know what? I don't care, man. I think it's funny. See, our ma, see, when she used to go into, she would go into the chemist where he worked to get her methadone, right? And he used to put fairy liquid in it. Man, she must have been blowing bubbles, know what I mean? Fucking hell. But that's what I'm saying, like, fucking, she was crackers, mate, and it's like she just fucking ruined a good boy, man. She fucking wrecked that boy, know what I mean? There's no denying that. And it made me think to myself, what kind of person would he be right now if he didn't grow up with her? Do you know what I mean? Because I've had other relatives from my mum's side that have been adopted because whoever it was wasn't fit enough to bring them up. It should have been the same with her, know what I mean? But me and my brother Paul were just lucky that we had my gran and my grandpa and my dad, know what I mean? But aye, she fucking ruined him, man, know what I mean? And the irony is that the year before Tony died, our ma died, I was in Kilmarnock jail, and the screws asked me, do I want to go? And I was like, no. I didn't even go to her funeral. Near did Tony. Near did my brother Paul. Know what I mean? It tells its own story, know what I mean? Our three sons, know what I mean? There's one more, but I don't class him as my brother, fuck's sake. Know what I mean? Near did Tony. But it just shows you, like, how bad a parent do you need to be that none of your, like, I wouldn't even want the day out for jail to go to your funeral, mate, like, know what I mean? And some people might think, and I hate it when people say this to me, but it's still your ma, mate. You obviously had a good experience of motherhood to say that to me, because if you had put up with any of the shit that we had to put up with after, then you would have a totally different story, mate. Like, that you can't just love somebody like that. Like, you love them through the interaction and them being there for you and fucking picking you up when you fall and fucking cut your knee, whatever. Like, know somebody that's kicking your fucking head in, battering you with weapons and locking you in a room forgetting to feed you. Do you know what I mean? Like, putting our fucking men before our wains and all that. It's just a rat, mate. Know what I mean? Out punting fucking all sorts of shit, and it's a scumbag, mate, if you ask me, man. But it was sad because the year after she died, I found out that he'd passed away as well, and I went to the funeral. And basically, I think because he'd had a mad back injury, man. I think he was just taking too many painkillers and just found dead one day, you know what I mean? Fucking shite, you know what I mean? Still a young boy, man. Whole life in front of him, you know what I mean? But just, and the things that he used to tell me, when he'd nowhere to stay, how he was sleeping rough in the streets and the things that he had to do, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, fucking hell, man. Like, people think my life was bad, but he had it a lot worse, you know what I mean? I think so anyways, you know what I mean? So that's how I wanted to do a video to remember him. because he's almost like the lost boy or something. And mate, I fucking in a lot of ways, I had a different relationship with him than my brother Paul, who like everybody thought me and him were twins. We were only 10 months apart, but me and my brother Tony had a very different relationship for the one I have with Paul. That, as I say, just bounce off each other. Like we were very good at non-verbal communication with each other. If you get me, I like that. Aye, I do. But just sad, man. When fucking there's so many people out there that probably watch this that have got a story about somebody that died, a brother or a sister, your mum, your dad. You know what I mean? It's sad as fuck, man. Do you know what I mean? But see, at the end of the day, all we can do is remember them and just fucking keep plodding on, innit? Know what I mean? But hope that wasn't too sad and all that shit and feeling sorry for me or whatever. It's not about that. It's just about remembering my wee brother and obviously the gratitude that I have now, because see, I should have been murdered years ago or doing life years ago. That's a fact, man. Anybody that knows me will tell you that. But here I'm sitting and living my life, man, know what I mean? And just sitting, like, looking out the window at the dark night with the rain belting off the window, like, oh man, I'm fucking lucky as fuck, man, in here with the heat on, just punished a big curry and all that, know what I mean? Aye, so you should fucking always be grateful for what you've got, because tomorrow's never promised, is it? You know what I mean? But I'm going to head anyway, because I'm absolutely fucked. I'm just shattered, man, and I've got karate tomorrow. Excuse me. Sorry for yawning all the time, man. I fucking hate it. It just comes and goes. But shout out to all the other people that are fucking lost somebody that they remember, and I'm sure we've all got plenty of people that we've all lost and what to remember and all that. But here, see, before I go, right, I just remembered something there. I'll tell you a funny story, right? See when I used to stay in the Gobbles, right? We were out at bonfire night, right? And fucking we were up at Hutchison Town Court, it's called, right? 'Cause my pal stayed there, right? And fucking we were just fucking about with these fireworks, right? And somebody set one off, right? And it just went and ricocheted off the wall, right? Bounced down, right? Come up off the ground and just boff! And just shot my brother Tony right in the forehead, and he was running around in circles, holding his head, going, fucking screaming, right? But there was sparks coming off this thing, no? I fucking shit myself, I'm not kidding. I was like, show me, show me, show me. And he lifted his fucking fringe up, right? Because he had a fringe down to here, so it was like up here, right? And know what it looked like? It looked like a bird's tit. See, like a big lump with like a big red dot right in the middle, right? And we were fucking howling, man. It looked like a big tit sticking out his head. And I was like, right, fucking cover that up, man. They see that, we'll get smashed. You're not talking about my mom or boyfriend. But, aye, man, fucking, that was funny, man. That was so funny, mate. Honestly, I just remembered that there. That was fucking class, mate. And she didn't see it because he's long, he'd like a fringe, know what I mean? He's fucking thank fuck. Because he had a battered us probably, not, that's how scared we were of him, know what I mean? But aye, that was funny, mate. But he's only a young boy at the time, I know, man, 8-year-old or something, hasn't it? Shot he'd be a rocket when you're fucking 8-year-old. Know what I mean? Imagine that happened to you today, man. It'd be fucking front page news, man. Fuck's sake, know what I mean? But I'll leave you to it anyway. Cheers for listening, and I will speak to you next time I'm back on, right? Good night.